the McCain strategy for victory in November is making it seem as if he never, not once, supported the Bush administration's failed strategy in Iraq. Not surprisingly, he tried to do that again today.
You know, over the last year, Senator Obama and I were part of a great debate about the war in Iraq. Both of us agreed that the Bush administration had pursued a failed policy there, and we had to change course.
McCain might be learning how to use the internets, but how the internets can be used against him must still be on his to-figure-out list. The wonders of the Google and the blogosphere have provided a long list of examples in which McCain and Bush have appeared to be one and McSame on the war in Iraq. Our list by no means the definitive and complete edition. Working backwards, we begin in March, when on Mike Gallagher's talk radio show, McCain said, quote, "No one has supported President Bush on Iraq more than I have." And then in February, when he was endorsed by Bush 41 and asked by our correspondent Kelly O'Donnell about the backing of that other, less popular President Bush, McCain claimed some policy differences with the current president, but decidedly, definitely not on Iraq.
As any president that follows one has different views on particularly specific issues. But I am proud of this president's strategy in Iraq. It is succeeding.
In the summer of 2006, when Iraq was in the midst of a civil war, McCain still had every confidence in the president.
Do you have confidence in the president and his national security team to lead the war at this stage?
I do. I have confidence in the president, and I believe that he is well aware of the severity of the situation.
Despite all the misjudgments you think have been made?
Yes.
In June of 2005, when Tim Russert tried to give McCain a chance to distance himself from President Bush and his war in Iraq, McCain wouldn't take that chance.
The fact is you are different than George Bush.
The fact is that I'm different, but the fact is that I have agreed with President Bush far more than I have disagreed. And on the transcendent issues, the most important issues of our day, I have been totally in agreement and support of President Bush. My support for President Bush has been active and very impassioned on issues that are important to the American people. And I'm particularly talking about the war on terror, the war in Iraq, national security, national defense, support of men and women in the military, physical discipline, a number of other issues. So I strongly disagree with any assertion that I've been more at odds with the President of the United States than I have been in agreement with.
At the Republican convention 4 years ago this summer, McCain admired the president as much as ever and believed in his mission in Iraq as strongly as ever.
I believe as strongly today as ever the mission was necessary, achievable, and noble. For his determination to undertake it and for his unflagging resolve to see it through to a just end, President Bush deserves not only our support, but our admiration.
And last, but certainly not least, in the conflict's early weeks, the same man who now cannot tell the difference between Sunni and Shia believed they had a peaceful history of coexistence that would continue.
There is not a history of clashes that are violent between Sunnis and Shias, so I think they can probably get along.
So if America is divided on Iraq, does the election once again come back to the economy stupid? Maybe that explains why President Bush can't think of much more than suggesting Americans switch off their air conditioning or hoping that they cut back on gasoline usage to help offset the energy crisis. Genius.